What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Liddy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Freddie Free Money Freeman. It feels so good to be on board with that guy. The one lock comes through. Grand slam here. They're up 8-3 now. What a time to be alive. Ended up on the home run play. Ended up on the parlay that I explained out here as the only lock. That feels good to get across the finish line. Well, it's 8-3. Game's got to finish out. And, well, Cincinnati, they called up De La Cruz. Any other people who like Coco? He hit a ball 112 miles per hour off his bat. I love watching Baseball Savant and seeing those numbers come through. What a first at bat to have, well, I guess first hit to have in the major leagues. 112 mile per hour double. Wowzer, fella. But going to be fun to watch him. Not any other Cincinnati Red ever, but either way, BetMGM, they're fun. We've got a big Wednesday slate, and, well, a lot of the best total bases, the 1.5 total bases, like on Freddie Freeman, best available number, BetMGM. I did have to parlay it over at DraftKings Sportsbook, but that's a conversation for a different day. BetMGM, that is what you want access to, and I know a lot of you already have DraftKings, FanDuel, all of those books. Get access to another one here at BetMGM. I'll talk about all the reasons why in a little bit here. It's only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER, but check them out in the video description box below. Get ahead of the game and get 2 months of premium Discord so you can get that betting card every single day, which is just running home run crazy right now. It's been beautiful, and hey, getting this lock through, I'm feeling pretty good here in the morning, what am I talking about? Evening hours here. My buddy Jacob, he knows I've had NBA Lindy's, which you can check out over here on Odd Shopper. You can check out PGA Lindy's, which is over on the Odd Shopper Golf channel. I'm all over the place. And then Stochastic, covering some DFS stuff for the people. Check out all the great content for the PGA this weekend. Is anything going on in the PGA streets? Feel like I heard something's happening in the No? Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. So check that out for the very boring sport that is golf here with nothing else going on. All right, 15 games. We've dilly-dallied enough here at the top of the show. I got a lot to talk about. A lot of plays on the card. Hey, we returned some closing line value on a lot of these totals. We're going to be capturing, I think, a little bit more going into tomorrow. Let's get ourselves to the picks. You want to get disgusting right off the bat? Nothing like wagering on a team with like 4 wins. That's what we're going to be doing here in the early window. We have Oakland, we have Pittsburgh. We have Roansy Contreras on the mound for the home team. Hogan Harris here with his 6.97 ERA, 1.26 whip. Looks just disgusting on the surface, but that's just what it is. It's surface stats. Underneath it all, which is hilarious. Isn't that? Who sings that? Underneath it all. Is that Gwen Stefani? I feel like it's Gwen Stefani. I'm not positive, but 322 expected slugging, 302 xWOBA, but not great. And that's partially because of the 14% walk rate here in the early going. But this third rounder, he's at least got some kind of arm talent here for the Athletics. Nothing that I'm over the moon about, that's for sure. But he's got a 3.69 expected ERA next to a 6.97 ERA with over 200 pitches already in the sample size. So I expect some sort of positive regression. You probably expect those numbers to somewhere sandwich in the middle there, maybe a 4 expected ERA going forward. But even that, I think returns value when you start grading out this money line at plus 150. Yeah, we're getting exactly 1.5 to 1 at FanDuel Sportsbook to go up against Roansy Contreras, who I will say just falls into that bucket of disappointing pitchers that, I mean, between him and Brian Bayo, my dynasty team has nothing in terms of the young arms department. Yeah, I missed out on Spencer Strider too. Good times. 44.2% hard hit percentage for Roansy. 353 xWOBA. Just a 17.6% K rate. The fastball slider combination really is only 2 pitches. He doesn't really throw a whole lot else. The 23-year-old's just not getting swings and misses at the big league level with it. He went from a 33.3% K rate in that first start in 2021. 2022 had a larger sample size, but just a 21.1% K rate, and it's down even further this year. I don't know what to make of it. All I know is that Oakland, when you start talking about some of the bats in their lineup, are they terrible against righties with just a 78 WRC plus? Yes. But in this park, with enough of these bats that I think can hit a double in the gap and do enough other damage here, Roansy Contreras setting 94, 95 mile an hour fastballs up on a tee for a couple of them at the top of the order. I'm willing to try to take a shot on a half a unit play at 1.5 to 1. Yeah, plus 150 FanDuel Sportsbook. Early morning game. Have fun, everybody. Welcome to my world. We go from that real vote of confidence that I had there in the Oakland Athletics. I do promise that the half unit play for me. It's just disgusting. It feels wrong when they have 4 wins. But Seattle, Padres coming up next here. 2 pretty serviceable pitchers. Michael Wacha, much improved here for the Padres this season. 31.4% hard hit percentage, just a 22.5% K rate. But I like some of the changes that he's made here. In fact, we've kind of been on some unders where he's been involved here of late. And I think I would be leaning that direction, even with George Kirby, who's another pitcher that I'm just starting to come around on a little bit more. I think the public was very gung-ho on him last season. 24.5% K rate, 3.31 expected ERA. I get it, but there are a couple of concerns I had, and that bared out in the K rate this season. Just 20.7% K rate, considering he has exactly half of the pitches that he had up to this point of last season. I think that's kind of what you're looking at. I think I was right in that stance of it, but he's still got a 3.22 expected ERA, so he's still very serviceable and very good. I look at him and Wacha. I look at these lineups currently. I mean, the Padres are just treading water. Seattle, they've been disappointing too. Kind of the battle of the disappointing ball clubs here in this one. And also, when did San Diego start playing standalone afternoon games at like 1 Pacific time? That'd be awfully fun. It'd be awfully fun to live in San Diego too. But under 8, that's where I'm going to be leaning. Don't really see how either of these teams generate crazy amounts of offense against 2 serviceable pitchers. However, I'm not going to bet it because there's 15 games on the slate. And I've got a couple of little parlay pieces today that I want to kind of make way for that are currently leans, but are probably going to turn into plays tomorrow. And one of those aforementioned plays exists right here with Philadelphia. Always great when you ruin your own bits, but shout out Always Sunny. Good stuff. Detroit, Philadelphia here in this one. And Kyle Schwarber is on another planet. Somebody tried to tell me that June is just his month. How? Oh, you mean like when he played at Wrigley and then up in the Northeast where it gets hot and humid in June, he hits better than in other months? That is crazy to me. It's not crazy. It's very explainable by data and temperature and humidity. The fact that Kyle Schwarber's, not always the most in shape guy coming out of the offseason. But he's been better of late. He's definitely changed that diet around the last couple of years. Looks better in Phillies red, even though nobody really does. I hate Philadelphia. But we got Detroit here on the other side with Reese Olson taking the mound. Zach Wheeler here as well. And Zach Wheeler, it's hard to get value when you've got somebody going up against him. And this Reese character, this Reese Olson guy, I know that he had a really nice first start out of the gate here for them, and that they're really excited about it, and yada, yada, yada. It was against the White Sox. Let's settle down. 5 innings pitched, 6 Ks. Good job. You go back to his AAA Toledo numbers. They're not all that good, and I know he got better as the season went along, but he has a 6.38 ERA and 1.77 WHIP in AAA this season. Those alone, you don't even need to know the surface stats to know that those are egregious and bad, as long as there's any sample size behind it. And, well, there is in this case. So minus 250, it's just a huge number. And I'm not going to lay 2.5 to 1, or 1 to 2.5. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be laying 250 to win 100 here in this spot. But friends, you start parlaying that with a home run play. Now be careful of the VIG, because you can run into some crazy single game parlay action. You always want to be grading those out. I know that we have in the premium Discord a lot of people who are doing that work for you. Shout out Harambe Slayer, a couple of other people. I know you guys are doing the work. I appreciate you, but wanted to just saying, Kyle Schwarber probably going to be going long against a lot of right-handed bats, so long as this temperature keeps increasing in Philadelphia. And, well, it's 81. There is expected to be a little bit of rain, so be careful of that. And, well, it doesn't matter as long as they, start the game, finish the game. Just saying, it'll be avoided bet if you make it and it doesn't play. But either way, there's going to be rain, there's humidity, and 81 degrees. Also, everybody in Philadelphia, be careful of all the fire stuff. You don't have to wear a mask, but be careful of that fire fume stuff coming down from Canada. Saw some crazy, scary stuff. All of our Canadian friends up there. Oh yeah, you're up there up north. Stay safe. But either way, Kyle Schwarber plus Philadelphia money line. That's how I'm going to do the damn thing and get some real nice value. As long as the VIG isn't too crazy, that's why it's a lean. Kansas City and Miami, we've got Edward Cabrera here, just treading water for the Marlins, going up against Jordan Lyles, who's just one of the worst pitchers in baseball until, well, you faced Colorado at home and struck out 8 of those suckers and just had 74 pitches, and they were up early, and he pitched actually pretty decently. However, on this season, 0-9 record. How crazy is it that Jordan Lyles can't get himself a win the entire season? Not one win. That's wild for a guy who's seen, I got to double check how many starts. I have to actually find that out. 12 total starts, 0 wins. That is what you call statistically improbable. And I don't think it really helps him going here to Miami. It does help to not have a Jorge Soler in that lineup, that's for sure. They didn't end up putting him on IL, though. He ended up being DH here in this spot. That creates more problems for Jordan Lyles coming into this matchup here on Wednesday. Now, still Jazz Chisholm on the IL, number of other pieces that are just kind of getting their footing, whether it's John Birdie, who finally had a pulse the other day. Yeah, another guy on my season-long team trying to get those stolen bases, but I heard you have to get on base to actually do it. Would also not be great to be playing a 7, 8, 9 hitter at third base routinely. Don't do that. Again, nobody gives a shit about my dynasty team. Let's talk about runs, shall we? I think even against Edward Cabrera, you're looking at this Kansas City team that I think should functionally add some runs to the total. And how often do you see 8.5 being hung up in Miami? Answer, not very often. That should set off some alarm bells. That's why I'm on the over. 8.5, I think it's too low. 9.2, I'd be shocked if this thing didn't move to 9 in very short order, or at least the 8.5 ends up getting juiced majorly coming into tomorrow. As it stands right now, though, standard juice, 8.5? Yeah, we like the over. Friends of the program, I know you have DraftKings, I know you have FanDuel, but now get yourself some BetMGM in your life. A little bit of lion action. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a lion. It's beautiful. What's also beautiful are these two deals. You're going to get up to $1,000 back with your first bet if it loses. Yes, if you bet $100, you're going to get yourself $100 back if it doesn't win. That's what's going to happen. If you bet 100 and it wins, you're going to keep the money, and yay, everybody's happy. So go down to that video description box below, sign up at BetMGM, but that's not it, my friends. You're also going to get 2 free months of OddsShopper Premium Discord. Yes, the lovely purple Discord app that you know and love, readily available on your phones. You could get all of my betting cards in the click of a button on your lovely little telephone, or the great desktop app. Doesn't matter, Apple, Android, it's got you covered. No matter what, the Discord that you know and love, that everybody knows and loves, you have an opportunity to jump into ours. Yes, we have our personal Discord here for you. Generally would cost you a little bit of money to join in per month. Well, that's trimmed down exponentially more when it's free 99. And free 99 is the best 99 readily available when you take a shot over at BetMGM on anything that they have to play with. And also, again, their total bases prop, home run props, been some really profitable ones. And I would say the best numbers for the RBC Canadian Open, if you're playing that going up in Toronto. Oh yeah, so much going on in Canada. Yeah. And they have the UFC fights in Vancouver this weekend. Tell you what, BetMGM, definitely be checking them out, only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But otherwise, jump to that video description box below, click on that link to BetMGM, and sign up today. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks we go. Interesting little spot. My Minnesota Twins, they're getting that butt whooped here at the moment. That's for darn sure. 7-0 heading into the top of the 9th. Thanks for coming. Have a nice day. I gotta say, it's probably a interesting situation. Wouldn't teams be more focused going into a Tampa Bay? It's not as much to do as going to Miami, things of that nature. Tampa Bay, you like sit in your hotel room and play PlayStation, right? That's what I'd do in Tampa Bay. Maybe go hang out on Tom Brady's moat. Is he still renting out Derek Jeter's house? Nobody cares. Let's talk Pablo Lopez here, former Miami Marlin, on the mound for the Twins. It hasn't been as nice here of late for Pablo. That ERA is now ballooned up to 4.54. You're facing the #1 offense in baseball against right-handed pitching, being the Tampa Bay Rays, and quite a landslide. 125 WRC plus. Zoink Scoob, that is pretty good. However, I still think the value might exist on that side because Cooper Criswell is the expected starter. And I know it says NA on the side of your screen, but I expect it to be Cooper Criswell. He was just recalled from AAA Durham all of about, I don't have my watch on, but about 3 hours ago. So that's cool. Whenever I see those blurbs come across, I'm pretty positive that's who's going to be starting when they have a bulk reliever role. We've already seen him at the big leagues a couple of times this season, even as recent as 4 days ago. Yeah, This will be taking place on June 7th. He pitched on June 3rd. Yes, went 28 pitches though. I think he'll still be able to get some kind of length out of this. I do want to be paying attention to some of these bulk reliever situations. You kind of never know what you're going to get. Tampa Bay, better than your average bullpen, that's for sure. But Pablo Lopez, still really good numbers across the board in the StatCast data department. 29.1% K rate, 219 expected batting average. I still lean his side of it because I expect them to be close to dogs, if not just barely favorites. But anything better than minus 125, I would be in on the Twins money line, and I'm expecting around minus 110. Arizona and Washington decided to put up some runs early in their little ball game. 6-5 right now, bottom fifth. What in the absolute world? Oh yeah, it's getting to be warmer in the Northeast, and we're finally going to run into some frickin' runs. Get your ass back out there and you find that effing dog. That had no correlation. I just wanted to quote Billy Madison. So I saw the blue duck, and I've never seen a blue duck, and I wanted to see the blue duck. So I drew a blue duck. That's quacktastic. These pitchers are not. Patrick Corbin facing Zach Davies. Oh my God, I almost hurled. And I know Corbin's had some better outings here of late, but overall, it's still terrible. A 316 expected batting average, 14% K rate. Probably the most overpaid player in baseball. Yeah, him and Strasburg, same team. That's not good for them. And Zach Davies, 280 expected batting average, 17.1% K rate, and walking more than 10% of batters. We're just betting the over again, right? Oh, we're locking the over is what we're doing, my friends. 9 runs. This should close at 10. I'm just saying, if you want some closing line value, this thing should be 9.5 in a heartbeat, and it should be 10 before lock, because these two pitchers are just as bad as it gets. And Arizona, far more serviceable offense, but don't be sleeping on the Nationals. They showed what Natty Light can do for you. Stone Garrett, hello, second homer of the season. Nice for him to get on the old board there. Still not as fun. I mean, Freddie Freeman, that was just fun. But those are two different comparisons. Just saying, throwing it out there. Let's lock the over of 9. Arizona, Washington. We move along our merry way. One of 2 locks on the board for you today. The Yankees hosting the White Sox, and Sebi Zavala, 2 home runs against Clark Schmidt. Wow. Clark Schmidt also a 1 strikeout quality start today. Did I read that right? It's wild stuff. A little bit different version we have going here. Lance Lynn on the mound for the White Sox. He's shown quite a bit of improvement, I will say, as the season's gone along, and you kind of expect that from him. Also one of the big lumbering dudes in the vein of an Alek Manoah. Probably had to figure out the pitch clock stuff, and he's starting to figure it out faster than Manoah, who just got sent. I don't even know what they said. It was like the Florida Center of Corrections is what it sounded like when I saw the blurb. I know that's not what it is, and I apologize to Manoah and his family. He seems like a lovely person, but he's terrible at the throwing of baseballs right now. And Lance Lynn, 480 expected slugging, still not good. 358 xWOBA, still not great. But if Aaron Judge isn't going to be in this lineup, I don't know. That's a huge bat that's missing, and Stanton's just starting to join the party. He's got a ridiculous 65.2% hard hit percentage in a very, very limited sample size here. But outside of Rizzo and Anthony Volpe, it's kind of been tough sledding here for this Yankees lineup. I don't find them to be the most scary thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I really do not find Randy Vasquez, their pitcher, all that intimidating on the mound here either. AAA Scranton, probably my favorite for all my office people. Da-da-dun, da-da-da-da-dun, dun-dun-da-da-da-da. 4.85 ERA, 42 2/3 innings so far this season at AAA. That was just your background music as my numbers would not load, so there they are. I'm actually on the White Sox money line here for a half unit. Nothing crazy, but plus 114 to back the far better pitcher against a lineup that I expect to have positive regression, and hopefully Jake Berger in it this time around. That'd be great too. Sorry about that one. Not much I can do about that. I don't put out the lineup cards. But White Sox money line, small play, probably my least favorite of the likes, but still on the card because I just don't trust this Randy fellow for the Yankees. Toronto up next, and this is just not a very appealing ball game. Again, sometimes when you get 2 really good offenses facing each other, and then some pitching that you're just not sure what to do with, it gets a little bit hairy there. But we got Ronel Blanco. Haven't really talked about him on the program for the Astros, going up against Chris Bassett. We've talked about him a lot. Now the hard hit, 34.1%, that's nifty. The 333x WOBA and 21.5% K rate though, they're just not. And he's throwing an assortment of pitches after his sinker, which he throws 40% of the time, going curve, change, four-seamer, slider, and split. And well, if you've got this many pitches, you've probably got 0 pitches. You've probably heard that before. If you've got 3 quarterbacks, you've got 0 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? You're looking for the one really, really good guy. And well, Ronel Blanco, he's got a really, really good slider. I will say the four-seamer that he's coupled with it, I expect better things going from it going forward. But as of right now, you look at some of the numbers, 5.09 expected ERA isn't all that appealing to be backing. I think he'll be able to get strikeouts at the big league level. I think that's going to be something that we find from him. But do I want to try to test that theory against Toronto in this spot with a new arm? No. I really do not want to do that. He's gone from a bullpen type scenario to that first lengthened out start that he had. They took the month of May. They sent him down to AAA. He got stretched out. We'll see what happens going long-term here. But against the Angels, it looked all right. Got the win. 5 1/3. 1 homer given up, 2 earned total. Pretty good stuff. I still think Chris Bassett has to get some kind of valuation. So I would be going aggressive, or I would be going nothing at all here. Toronto on the run line, -1.5, but my God, it's just Alina. My God. Maybe we just bet Yordan Alvarez and move along with our lives. Should have thought about that one earlier. Oh man, we've actually bounced back after a really brutal start to the old K ladder situation. It's been going better, so let's test that theory here with Boston visiting Cleveland. Cutter Crawford, we're not going to test it with him of the Red Sox. We are going to test it with Tanner Beebe, and I'll get to why. But Cutter Crawford, 3.48 ERA, 0.95 whip. Yay, great numbers. He's probably not going to be pitching beyond 40 pitches here. In fact, 52 is the most that he's pitched now since February 18th. It is 17th against the Angels. There you go. I can't read numbers now. That's fantastic. But either way, Cutter Crawford, not going to be long for this game. He's kind of setting it up in a long relief role and then turning it over to the bullpen. Now, Cleveland's terrible, but I don't really know what to do with that when you look at some of these express numbers and when you see the arm on the other side of the mound. And that's where I think Tanner Beebe is an interesting buy in this spot. I have not been very high on some of these rookies. I haven't been taking shots on Allen as much, and part of that is I don't necessarily trust them to always, I wasn't sure what to make of some of the K stuff here long-term, but Tanner Beebe, I think we're starting to figure out he's just a good pitcher who's going to once in a while spike some upside. And if he's at least consistently hitting the 5, 6, 7 K department, I think there's a shot that you should be taking on him going up to about 7 Ks here in this spot for the righty. He gets a tough spot, of course, going up against these Red Sox with a bunch of lefties, a 104 WRC plus against right-handed pitching, a 174 ISO, and just a 20.8% K rate. But I expect that to be reflected in the numbers. And I think one thing people do too much is they bet the easy matchups with K props and they stay away from the difficult matchups and shy away from certain numbers. Look, it's part projection, but it's mainly a market-based approach. And so I'm looking at some of these numbers for some of these K ladders in same game parlay fashion, or would try to be just betting them outright. And I think Beebe is pretty live up to 7 strikeouts here. Now, I don't think I want to be going 8, 9, 10 in anything in that direction, but have to see what the numbers are. That's why it's a lean. We don't bet things blindly without knowing what they are, except for yesterday I broke the rule because Freddie Freeman was always going to just demolish. Just saying. There are times I'll break my own rules, but not for this one. Tanner Beebe, 7 Ks if the number is right. Surprise! Manscaped. We're talking about the leaders in men's grooming. Yes, manscaped.com. Do you want to take care of yourself? I bet you do. They save balls over there at Manscaped. And we're not talking about catching a foul ball in the stands. We're talking about you catching strays from your significant other. Hey, why don't you take care of yourself? Why can't you groom it? Why can't you have it look all presentable and set for me? Because let's be serious. It can get a little bit hairy down there. We're just being honest. It is what it is, especially as you're getting into these hot summer months, whether you're out on the East Coast with the humidity, on the West Coast going to the beach. You want to be taking care of your lawn and do it with the Lawnmower 4.0, the leader in groin and body grooming trimming. Yes, this thing is magical. It has a great blade that will not nick and cut your body in the different spots. And then a little bit of aftershave balm you can put on it with the crop preserver and the crop reviver. That is part. Those three together are the perfect package 4.0, but that's not all. They have a beard Hedger Pro kit that you can get for 20% off as well. And hey, the Platinum package, we're talking about shampoo and conditioner, deodorant, all of the great trimmings, the Weed Whacker, in addition to the Beard Hedger, in addition to the Lawnmower 4.0, the three best trimming devices that I've ever found in my life. Get yourself ultra smooth, ultra crisp, getting ready for these summer months, baby, with all that is available over at Manscaped. Yes, use promo code Stokastic. Get yourself 20% off when you click on that link below. Thank you to Manscaped. Check out everything I have, and I'm a better man for it. Alrighty, y'all, 5 more games to get to. Let's hop to it, producer Jacob. My, how the turntables. Yeah. We're looking at an 11 total here, with Noah Syndergaard on the mound for the Dodgers. I think you know my feelings about him at this point in his career. Up against Brandon Williamson, who Brandon Williamson sounds like an English equestrian specialist. Doesn't sound like a pitcher, especially when you read these numbers. We're talking a 45.9% hard hit percentage, 522 expected slugging. Now, the one thing he has going for him is he's a lefty. And the Dodgers, just a 115 WRC plus against lefties. Just saying, against righties, they are just ridiculous. So it is what it is. They're pretty ridiculous against both. In fact, now I believe they have the same WRC plus, depending on whichever hand it is. Yeah, 115. There we go. It is identical on both sides of things. That's just further proof that Brandon Williamson is screwed. But Noah Syndergaard, one of the worst pitchers in terms of avoiding runners on base. Yeah, we're talking about one of the worst. Well, now he can't strike out batters with a 15.3% K rate. And a 295 expected batting average means guys are getting on base far more than they're not. Well, that's not correct, because 295 means that 70.5% of the time they're not getting on base. You know what I'm saying, but that doesn't take into effect walks, so it's actually higher. You know what? Enough of me. Just take the over of 11 here. We're talking about two offenses and one Cincinnati that is far improved, considering they just added Elly De La Cruz. Yes, I love this dude. He is going to be a phenomenal prospect. Well, he is a phenomenal prospect. He's 4th in all of MLB, according to the MLB prospect pipeline, for whatever you will. But all I know is he had a 112-mile-per-hour double, and it was really, really impressive. And now I'm in love with him. Kind of what happened to me earlier last season with Pittsburgh. Yeah, it was really, really sad. When's he going to come back? You know what I'm talking about. Whatever. Just take the over. Yeah, we have a lot of overs and unders on this card. It is what it is. Over 11, I like it. Yeah, Great American Small Park, going to be extra small with these offenses. We took some shots on some first basemen. That game is actually just going to first pitch right now, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Wild, wild stuff here, but we're going to be staying away from this one. It's going to be pretty interesting. The next 2 days, check out these pitching matchups. Justin Verlander and Spencer Strider coming up on Thursday. And on Wednesday for this one, we got Charlie Morton and the Braves hosting Mr. Max Scherzer and the Mets. My God. Have some pitchers. Have some fun, shall we? Well, I can't really, because these numbers are pretty efficient. Both of these offenses are pretty darn good, too. I don't know how to go about projecting this one. It's a difficult spot. It's a really difficult spot. In fact, if I had to do anything, I'm just going to be taking the Mets money line. I don't really know what to break down for you. Max Scherzer is really good at 206 expected batting average. The K rate's now back up to 25.3%. And Charlie Morton, well, 25.3% K rate himself, identical to that of Scherzer's. However, with a 256 expected batting average and the tougher, well, he does not have the tougher matchup. The Braves are the better. You know what I'm saying? The Braves are barely favored here. You almost never see Scherzer as a dog, and yet I still can't pull the trigger on it. Mets, money line, lean, that would be what I would do, but I can't really get there here on Wednesday. I can get to this one, though. We're talking about Baltimore and Milwaukee, and yeah, Kyle Gibson just giving up runs right out of the gate there in that first inning. I will be tracking that one here as we go along. 2-2 now, top 5th. All right, so he at least reined it in. That's good to know. Well, I think you know my feelings about this Baltimore situation here, and it's not going to get better with Dean Kremer on the mound going up against one Corbin Burns. And once upon a time, this would have been a jam spot, but unfortunately, Well, Corbin Burnes hasn't been his same reliable self with a 9.7% walk rate, just a 22.8% K rate. Everything else across the board looks fantastic. 34.2% hard hit percentage, 220-1 expected batting average. But then you look at Kremer, 540 expected slugging, 384 xWOBA. Nothing is good. Nothing is awesome there. Yeah, we're going to be going to a home run, though. Because Dean Kremer should be giving up a long ball or two, and I like what we're seeing out of Yelich. Almost a 5-degree average launch angle now. That's improvement. Always hits the ball hard, 52.3% in that right. But I think Soulja Boy Tellez. Yeah, we haven't fired up Rowdy Tellez in a while. He's got just a 41.2% hard hit percentage, but his profiles against righties, yeah, I think this is the prime spot. Dean Kremer, 48.8% hard hit percentage. He's adding the leverage here for you. Sub 20% K rate. Well, one of the things with our guy Rowdy is you gotta hit the ball to put it in play. 25% K rate, you remove some of that away. Even Terang, I thought about recommending, just saying. He's got no power though. Brian Anderson. What happened to his power? It disappeared. But as I'm standing here right now, Soulja Boy Tellez, Rowdy Tellez, if we're getting better than plus 445, it's a very specific number, you are going to be betting this homer on Wednesday. Pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop it. Yeah, I don't know why we're going like early 2010s rap here. Soulja Boy Tellez. Was Soulja Boy? I don't know. It's got to be around that time. Me graduating college at Iowa State, you know? Of course, that's where. Bum, 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 bum. But don't look at me like I'm frickin' Frankenstein. Give your father a hug. And let's talk a little lock section, shall we? We got Jack Flaherty here on the mound going up against the Texas Rangers. John Gray on the mound for them. And Jack Flaherty, I think you know by now, not my favorite pitcher in all the land. He does limit hard contact, 34.5%. 34.5%, 376 expected slugging, but they're two things that I really want to make note of. One, when the ball gets put in play, it seems as though he's still running into a lot of luck. Yes, I think his ERA should be a lot higher based on a lot of metrics, whether it's BABIP, whether it's his xFIP. I think Jack Flaherty is in for a rude awakening because the Texas Rangers offense, this is part two, by the way. Texas Rangers offense, a 119 WRC plus against right-handed pitching, a 22.9% K rate, so kind of limiting some of the strikeouts there, middle of the road in that regard, but mainly that 119 WRC plus and 185 ISO and getting Corey Seager back a week or two ago. Things are looking up. And then John Gray, you get the preferred righty there. You have to get by Gorman. You have to get by some of these other sneaky good lefties now that exist for St. Louis. But a 20.1% K rate, I expect positive regression coming for that. And, well, Texas just puts up infinity runs a night, it would seem. And so I was expecting to see this number pretty long. I was expecting to see this thing minus 155, minus 165. No. Minus 134 is what's available at FanDuel Sportsbook right now. That, my friends, is your second lock of the day. Texas Rangers offense puts up gobs of run against Jack Flaherty. I have no more jokes. I'm joked out. To another home run plus money line combination. Yeah, I said I had two of them on the board. Two parlay for you people. Maybe I'm getting a little cocky after the Freddie Freeman plus Dodgers play, but again, that one felt pretty sharp. This one feels pretty sharp too. Going to Coors Field here, San Francisco and Colorado. Logan Webb, their stud pitcher on the mound for San Francisco. Going up against Connor Seabold. I would rather it was Connor Seabiscuit. At least he can run, whereas Connor Seabold cannot throw. A 5.40 ERA, 1.51 whip. Nothing looks all that good. It's not so bold to say Seabold is boldly going where no bad, lots of Coors Field's pitchers gone before. He's just terrible, is what it is. How about Logan Webb, though? 2.85 ERA, 1.04 whip. This Colorado lineup is really in shambles. That's for sure. No Chris Bryant, no semblance of anything here. And yet I bet Colorado on the money line on Tuesday. Should we check in on that game? I bet we shouldn't. It's 0-0 top of the second. That's going to age well. But either way, I'm actually looking at the San Francisco side. There was a little bit of a surprise addition. We had Jock Peterson back in the lineup here on Tuesday. Yeah. Hadn't been in the lineup since May 12th. He makes his return, and well, he's one of the best hitters against righties. We saw him bat third, could get moved up to lead off any given day. That's kind of what happens with Jock. He bounces around 1, 3, 4, Kind of depends on the way that they wake up and feel in the morning there in San Francisco. But I think pairing him with a home run, as long as it's better than plus 220, again, super short odds, but I'm saying plus 220, so we should be able to play it. Along with the San Francisco money line is a single game parlay that I can get behind. So yes, we're going to 2 prime lefties on today's card. Kyle Schwarber with the Phillies money line, in addition to Jock Peterson with the San Francisco money line. And our last game of the night, we're going to Angel Stadium. And Eric, you always have a play of the last game. I have nothing for you here. We have Jaime Barria. That's why I don't sing. 1.59 ERA, 1 flat whip now. We saw him just get up to 90 pitches last time out against the White Sox. Hasn't pitched in a week. A lot of rest here for him. He's a bullpen arm, transitioned back to a big arm, being a long reliever, and then into starting now. And he faces Jameson Taillon, who, well, we finally got the outing we were looking for from him. And yet 7.05 ERA, 1.51 whip. It was much better against San Diego the other day, 5 2/3. We almost made some things happen there with that under combined with San Diego, but he pitched too well. I don't expect that to happen here in Angel Stadium too often against this lineup. So I will say, kind of a stay away spot here for me. These Angels, we know what they can do offensively, a 106 WRC plus, even against right-handed pitching on the season, and a 170 ISO. That Ohtani fellow, Taylor Ward starting to have a pulse again, Hunter Renfroe, ball go far. Yeah, we're just going to be staying away from this one. No value trying to go to the Angels money line. I was hoping for something around even money. It's minus 135. Complete stay away for me. Let's get the heck up out of here. See you on Thursday. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on the board for Wednesday's slate. Massive 15-gamer. I'm going to be updating my premium card, or my betting card there early in the morning, because we do have a play on that Pittsburgh Oakland one. Looking forward to that. If you guys want to get that yourself for the entire MLB day, we have NBA going on Wednesday night too. Game 3 of the NBA Finals. You want that premium bet card? Check out BetMGM, because you'll get it for free for 2 months. And hey, you could put $50 on it, $100 on it, $1,000 on it at BetMGM with your first bet. I don't really care. Just get a bet in over at BetMGM. Get access to one of the best deals in town. Thank you so much to them. Only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, I've talked a lot today. I'm going to go have a little honey and tea and get myself the heck up out of here. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.